Hello, my lovies. Check, check. Should I do a sound check? I've got my mic right here. I think everything's okay. I'm all by myself, all by my lonesome, but that's all right. It's always fine. I do enjoy my solitude. I really do. When I come on live, it's so fun to interact with you guys, which is why I come on live. And I'll just go through my regular routine stuff. Please hit that creepy thumb like button if you don't mind. What else? I've got my little sign, my little homemade sign here. Subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed if you are subscribed. And if you're not, please consider it. It does great things for the algorithm. Share the video if it comes out good and you want your friends and family to take a peek. And turn on your notification bell if you want to be notified when I drop a video or when I'm coming on live. Yeah, so what's up? It is Friday. It's February 9th. It is almost 10 minutes to 3 in the afternoon. So I have been trying to get on live with you guys for the last several hours. And as you know, one thing after another. That's okay. I always like to say, if that's my worst problem today, I'm a pretty freaking lucky individual, right? And that's the truth. I wanted to follow up with things that we've been talking about lately, like, of course, Kylie Rodney Bex. Did you get your hat? Yay, that's awesome. Lovely to see you, my dear. And that's great news. I'm so glad. Have fun jazzing it up, right? Very cool to see you. Thanks for saying hi. And Mark is here. Bex, you got my hat. Mark, I have a hat for you. Seriously, please send me an address to send it to. You know my email, justiceatooz@gmail.com. And I would love to get your hat to you. Absolutely. Seriously. So yeah, you guys, I caught your live today, Mark. It was a short one, but good as usual. So thank you. And I was very taken with a WattsTheObsession today, her last live. It's 3 days old. I think it's from the 5th of February. And I wanted to talk about that with you guys because I think there's some similarities with Nicole Kessinger and Scami, and especially after Deception Detective saying that he believes that Scami is all innocent. The only thing she's guilty of is wanting attention, right? I'm trying to block that light with my head, and it's just really funny. There we go. No, this way. Let me scooch over. Okay. Dee may be paid off. It's entirely possible, but I really believe that even if channels aren't like paid off directly, that they can be paid off kind of directly or indirectly just by going with the status quo. Because when you go with the status quo, I think you're going to get a lot more views and likes and subscribers than when you go against the grain. Us rogue little channels that have the audacity to think for ourselves and talk about it. Oh. So I know I'm not getting paid off, not directly, not indirectly, but I speak from the heart. I shoot from the hip. I tell it the way I sees it, and I enjoy doing that with you guys. I feel like I get something out of it. I hope that you're getting something out of it. Let me do my disclaimer real quick. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of having a conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and to learn something. All my videos are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I'm really happy to be here with you today, as I am every time I get to come on live and make a video with you. I feel like it's such a privilege to have a channel. It's such a privilege to have the time and the space to do this, and then to have viewers, to have an audience. I mean, it's like my wildest dream. I didn't think it would ever happen. I've shared with you guys my mentors, Paula Plunder and Kelly from WattsTheObsession. And Paula was the first one to recommend to me that I start my own channel. And I thought she was crazy. I was like, what? That's insane. What would I possibly have to say, to have a whole channel to say it? And then Kelly invited me onto her panel because she was like, man, you've got so much to say. I want to hear you talk about it. And I was like, I'm flattered to be invited onto your panel. I would love to come onto your panel, but I really don't know that I have anything to say. And she was like, trust me, girl, you have a lot to say. So I did. I trusted her, and the rest is history. Kind of, sort of. I mean, I take it day by day. And, it ebbs and flows. There's times when I get thousands of views, and there's times when I get hundreds of views, and I'm just really grateful for every view. I feel like I'm unlocking a lot of truth for myself, pretty much every video. And I feel very complimented and, again, privileged to hear anybody. I'm getting all teared up. I'm so funny to hear anybody say the same thing for themselves. I have people often say, I've been with you from the beginning and it's just amazing. It's a great journey and thank you. And I really appreciate that. It's extremely meaningful to me. It's so funny to me how these YouTube connections become so sacred. Honestly, seriously, I mean, we're in the internet age where that's social media is a lot of people's social contact, and the connections are just as meaningful as if they happen in actual time and space, not in social media. And I really didn't expect that. I really felt like you can't trust anybody, especially on the internet. And again, still true. We all have to be very careful. But, that for me, that is the same in real life. I mean, people can turn on you in a heartbeat. Everybody's got their own brand of crazy, and it's just a matter of how crazy, and are they going to be real? Are they going to be honest? Are they going to be hats? I'm trying not to curse because, I'm trying to become a monetized channel. So let's see. Good, Mark. I'm glad you'll trust me with your address. I promise not to stalk you. I promise. My fingers are crossed. No, double crossed. And yeah, let's see. Hey, Sunset Salty Sage. Lovely to see you, my dear. Lovely to see all of you. So I am planning on watching Kelly WattsTheObsession. She's doing a live tonight at 9 p.m. East Coast time to discuss, what is it precisely? To discuss the phone interview with Nicole Kessinger. And she is so freaking sharp. Kelly is. Sorry, my mic just fell. Drop the mic. It was a drop the mic moment, right? She is so sharp, and if she has a panel and if she wants me to come up, I would be happy to. I love being on her panels, and I hadn't been on a panel with her in a very long time because I've been so focused on Kylie. And, she's a big Kylie fan too, but, of course her thing is the Watts case. So right now I feel like they're kind of crossing, because people in her last live, her chat was telling her about Deception Detective and how awesome he is, right? And he might be very awesome, but I think he did a very poor job in his analysis of Scami. And then he compared her to the dearly beloved innocent NK, right? And said that, she's just like NK, and she's just like Amanda Knox, completely innocent, and, another victim. Like, dude, I think you're incorrect, and Mark thinks you might be getting paid off. Hit my like, guys. I mean, Justice A to Z like. And hello, Mrs. Amir. Hello. Oh, let's see. There's that stupid light that goes off at exactly 2:57. Is it? Is it 257? I thought it was 247 that it went off. It goes off at 257. Okay. Sorry about that noise. And let's see, where was I with Ms. Jazz? Glad they talked you into creating your channel. We appreciate having you. Oh, that is the sweetest thing in the world. Well, and I love to share that they're the ones who got me started because I want to give them shout outs all the freaking time. I owe my YouTube life to them. And, I feel very fortunate to have such intelligent, talented individuals as my original mentors. So, yeah, I feel extremely blessed. Ara is here. And then, let's see. Squirrels is here. I don't entertain crazier assets. I love that. Well, I feel like I'm a little on the kooky side, to say the least, but in a good way. And that's kind of my philosophy with everyone, is that everybody's crazy. It's just like, are they crazy in a good way or crazy in a bad way? That's my professional analysis. So, and can they admit to their craziness? Because, if you don't have the humility, if you don't have the insight, if you don't have the willingness to question yourself, not that we should doubt ourselves, but that we should certainly keep an open mind that we could be in left field, right? I mean, maybe Kylie got drunk and drove herself into the water and we're just a bunch of fools out here wasting our lives, attacking this poor young Scami. Yeah, right. So I want to talk about Kylie, of course, always. There's some specific things I want to say, and I want to talk a lot about the Watts case and NK, because WattsTheObsession was just getting my gears rolling in a really good way. I also want to continue anything. If you guys have questions about the event in Arizona, I realized today that attempt on my life was not 45 years ago. Fuzzy math was 46 years ago. So anybody who caught my error in math, you can point that out to me. I don't mind if you're like, hey, wait, no, that's wrong math. So I was thinking it was 2023. This happened in 1978, late January, probably around the 26th or 27th of January in Flagstaff, Arizona, at a McDonald's right off the freeway, probably off of Interstate 40, but I'm not 100% sure. But I am going to try to track it down. I'm going to try to track down the public records of two tweens from California getting carbon monoxided in their station wagon with their father driving and their dog and their cat. So I think that I'll probably find it. I'd never, ever, ever until the night before last thought I should just do a public records request. And, one of my viewers actually tried Googling it and she was seeing what she could find. And I haven't tried that yet. I haven't done it, but I thought that was a great idea. Awesome live you did, Mark. Now, did he do another one? Or are you talking about that one from this morning that was just like 10 or 15 minutes long? Because I caught it right when he was done. I was the second person to comment, and I said, replay crew. I hope you're feeling better today. Yeah, I remember, was it last night when you got off your live, or was it the night before last when you said you weren't feeling well? And Ara is a Kelly crew as well. So Ara is well respected, I think, because of her affiliation with Kelly, and also Kelly has a lot of respect for you, Ara, as do I, as do all of us, I believe. And yeah, I think that's why that stupid content creator went after you and said that, you were trucky mafia. We don't even need to bring that up, do we? Sorry. But I think that it was just jealousy. And yeah, I think jealousy is what inspired Scami. Possibly. I think jealousy is what inspired NK and her involvement with the unthinkable. And I think jealousy is what inspired Amanda Knox with The Unthinkable. And these people really give themselves away in so much of the detail. Like let's just take NK for instance, or we could take Scami for instance, or we could take the other one, Foxy Knoxy. Those people, if they weren't narcissists, if they weren't sociopaths, if they didn't have involvement, if they weren't being defensive, they would be heartbroken and terrified and horrified that there was a freaking red rum like at their party or in their apartment or connected to the man that they've been sleeping with. They would be terrified, absolutely like off the chart terrified. They would not be belaboring details and all cool, calm, and collected and the way they act. I mean, they give themselves away just like that. It's phenomenal how we all kind of miss it, right? And we get caught up in their game. And that's what it is. It's a game. So let's see. Off to the beat of what? Off to the beat of Rihanna song, SOS song, Squirrels. Let's see. I likely won't be going live till Monday. Oh, I'm sorry that you're not feeling well, Shan, but that gives me a chance to get caught up because you have been so productive the last few days, and I've been trying to stay caught up, but it's just a little beyond my reach. So that gives me an opportunity. That's the way I see it. Fee isn't feeling better either and will be staying home this weekend, but I'll be paying attention to YouTube lives this weekend. Oh, I'm so sorry. That bites. Yeah. We've had a lot of sickness at our house, and it's just no fun at all. It's no fun when we're sick, but it's also no fun when our loved ones are sick and we're the mom, because we bust our butts every day helping and taking care of the ones we love. And then when they're sick, to me, it's just overwhelming. And I don't like to see my dearly beloved suffering. Good to see you, Shan. Happy Friday. Yay. Great highlight of some great content. Thanks for seeing it. So, Mark, let me ask you straight up. The channel that highlighted your videos, I didn't catch it yet. Is it... I wrote down the names of the ones that I thought it was, but let me see if I have those notes handy, or I might... Oh, yeah, I do. Was it Road to Perdition, or is that a channel, or is that Raised from Perdition? I don't know if that person has a channel, but I thought I heard you say Road to Perdition, Just My Opinion, or Ninja. So is it one of those three that highlighted your stuff? It's so good that I take notes because I always think, oh, I'll remember this. And if I don't write it down, it's freaking gone. It's so annoying. You know, I just clear out the old and get in with the new. So before I forget, I want to say this point about NK that I was belaboring on right before I came on. In this 2 hour and 37 minute What's the Obsession video that I will link in my description, at the 2 hour and 12 minute mark, right before Tammy Lee comes in and meets Nicole Kessinger for the first time, Nicole says she's talking about her new phone and how she's all overwhelmed with the technology and she can't figure out the new app. And she says something about old texts between her and Chris Watts. Old texts. And she even says from those days. Okay, this is in September. And allegedly they've only been dating since June. So June, July, August, September. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny that I think she gave herself away. She said old texts from those days. I mean, the whole relationship had just happened. I think this is from September. No. This would be from August if it was the first time that she met Tammy Lee. It's confusing, isn't it? Anyway, I was taking a lot of notes and writing down a lot of the dates, but I just thought it was funny. You know, Kelly too was catching things in reviewing that tape that she had never caught before. Um, so NK was not only being treated as a protected witness, um, she was getting the full victim treatment from the Crime Victim Center. So that I think includes like $10,000 or $20,000 towards therapy, towards living expenses, towards lost wages. She got the full freaking package. So there were so many people that made so many errors with that decision that if they were to officially realize that they made a mistake and that they were incorrect and that she's not a victim but a perpetrator, they'd have a lot of backtracking to do. They'd have a lot of correcting to do. They'd have a lot of um, professional people who that would really likely scar their track record. So they're not going to do it, in my opinion. Not ever. It's up to us. It's up to us, YouTube rogue individuals out here, us junior detective, armchair detective wannabes. Yeah. I'm just making fun of Rourke and him making fun of all of us. Like, what a douche, man. And I'm just so grateful that he did that interview on his wife's channel, because that was really good to see how he really feels, right? Let's see. I think I hadn't not highlighted that last one, Mark. Sunset, Ara Amir. This jazz slap to get your audio to center out again. What? I don't know anything about this. Slap to get your audio to center out again. I don't know. Did that do anything to help? Won't stop, can't stop for Kylie. Too much BS for me. I'm going to try to get caught up, and then I want to say the thing about Kylie that I really want to share. Nothing new, but just kind of a new spin, a rehash. Where did it go? Oh, I've got some great comments here. Okay, let's see. Wishing Fia swift recovery. Absolutely. And sorry, Shan messed up. Hope you both feel better soon. CNY, Shan, Jazz, Ara, my mentors. Oh, that's so cute, Mark. I'm so happy to be one of your mentors. Mark, that's incredibly sweet, Ara says. If being not crazy is Sammy is a hero, I choose crazy. And I love this comment. All right, I'm still trying to figure out which crazy I am. I love that. That's the best. Oh, girl, I have the questioning ourselves down. Well, and again, don't doubt yourself. I love this old quote that my mother taught me, which is know what you know. So if you know it, trust yourself. You know it. But don't try to know things that you don't know. Just know what you know. But yeah, I think also that simultaneously always keeping an open mind. Oh, hold on. Let's see. I might have to send a text out real quick. 1 second. Where are we at? We're all just crazy for the truth. I love that, Bex. I'm going to try to get caught up with you guys because I'm a few minutes behind here. Oh my goodness. I'm like 7 minutes behind. You got to sound out the letters. We all have some sort of crazy. It's no fun being a normie or sheeple, but the full-blown crazy I can do without. Absolutely. Or the people that are so crazy that they don't even think they're crazy. Here, let me look at my text real quick. I just need to send the one word. Yeah, there we go. We're good. Shan sending get well vibes. Veggies water. I heard the flu be going around here in Texas. You guys, I have just been swearing by my veggie juice, so I'm going to drink up while I'm reading that good advice because it's both veggies and water. Trader Joe's has a really disgusting tasting large green bottle of vegetable juice. It's a good price. And then I just mix it with a little apple juice. Like I have to be real careful with my fruit sugar, but it is really bad. Tastes horrible. And I usually like the taste of those weird, earthy tasting drinks. But no, the one from Trader Joe's is just a little too healthy for me. But I love Trader Joe's. They got good food, good prices. Let's see. You gotta sound out the letters. I'm missing something. Shan, wait, no, that was one that we already read. I'm gonna speed read, get caught up. Don't ask. I forget. I can't remember who highlighted me. Oh, Mark, that's cute. I just want to see it. That's all. I'm sure somebody knows. And if anybody knows and wants to put it in chat, as long as that's okay with Mark, please do. Yeah. Isn't that annoying? You better write it down, huh? I hope Fee feels better, Shan. I will find out and highlight soon. Okay, cool. Sunset, I love when you sing in chat. I didn't know that Sunset sings in chat. It was either Just My Opinion, Raised from Perdition, or Bad Wolf that highlighted Mark's stuff. I have fever fog. You know what? I've never even heard of Bad Wolf. And I did not know that Raised from Perdition had a channel. So that's so good to know. Because, yeah, they were in the chat the other day. They're often in the chat, but they were sharing. And I'll check their channel out and sub up. I did sub up to Just My Opinion, but... Bad Wolf, I love the name. Yes. It's like Bad Fish, that Sublime song. That's one of their best tunes. What does that say? Can you hear what I'm saying, Bex? Bex says yes, but I'm certain it's one of those three. Okay, cool. Very cool. Thank you, Shan. I want to say Bad Wolf. I love the name of the channel. I can't believe I've never heard of them. Are they new? Thanks. That's my theme song in my head to Shan when I see the notification from Squirrels on Fire. Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Oh, you're right on time, Miss W. I had some trouble getting out of a rabbit hole. Well, we would love to hear all about it. That sounds like something we could all benefit from, right? How did you get out? Because frankly, I'm probably still in one, right? Oh no, Shan, thanks. Sorry, you were so under. Yeah. And it will now be on my head as well. And I don't know, you got a chime and then your audio started sounding further away. Usually clapping centers it back out, but not this time. Oh, the chime was actually from one of my lights. I have these weird little lights. I bought these at Menards. What I would show it to you, but I'm afraid I might knock some stuff down. Let me see. Every time I touch anything, it's also precarious. I might be able to show it without knocking stuff down. So they fold up and, yep, I'm knocking things down. But anyway, they have all of these buttons on the back. And somehow one of the alarms got set accidentally, just like in the box. I'm not going to touch anything because when I do, it all comes tumbling down. Anyway, I have two of those lamps, and the one on this side, it goes off every day at 2:57, and it's really annoying. So that's what that was. Anyway, maybe I clapped it right out of its alarm system, but I should just have one of my tech crew look at it. I'm sure they'll be able to hit the button and make it stop. Let's see. Sheeple. I never heard that before. I like it. Oh, yeah. Sheeple is a good one, isn't it? Squirrels on Fire. Please, someone help me laugh my effing 8 off. Now it's stuck in my head. Yes. Yes, yes. Trader Joe's, great prices on veggie and fruit. You guys, I'll tell you one of my go-tos right now that I just like every time I go there, I buy two of them, and I'm like Popeye the Sailor Man eating my spinach. It's the what is it called? Not gonna know what it's called. It's an Indian thing. It's spinach and cheese cubes, and it's called like it's not called Panera, but something like that. And it's so freaking good. So it's just like a ton of spinach and some white cheese cubes, and it's in the frozen section. And it's like $4, and it's like, you know, microwave for 4 minutes, and there's your meal with like all that protein and all those veggies. And I just love it. And yeah, now it's like I'm drawing a blank on what it's even freaking called. Maybe you guys know. I think a lot of people are a fan of that dish. It is delicious. It's not Panera, but it's very, very close to the word Panera. But you know, I like Panera too, the bread store. Let's see. Epiphanies abound. Sunset. Yes, that is really cool, isn't it? Crap, had to move to mobile home internet mess again. Oh no. Bad Wolf covers a lot of deleted Zanime stuff. Nice. Man, that woman, ew, if you could call her that. Mobile, not mouse. Okay. Um, Doctor Who has a Bad Wolf story. Huh. Doctor Who. Is that another channel? Because, yeah, you guys do supply me with some really good information. Um, when I first started my YouTube channel, I would get kind of overwhelmed by you guys, by my audience recommending things to me because I wouldn't write them down, and I'd just be like, man, I got enough work cut out for me, you know, on the learning curve of learning how to do a YouTube channel. But very quickly, I realized that you guys are where it's at. Like, pay attention to your chat because your chat knows what's up. Which is exactly why you have a chat, right? It's exactly why we all enjoy doing lives. And then, you know, the more advanced technological geniuses like Shan and Mark and Ara and Kelly, they do the panels. But there's a lot of these great channels like Paula Plunder and Christina Randall that never do lives, never have guests, and you know, they do great like that. Like that's their comfort zone. That's what they like, and that works for them. Let's see. I was looking into California CHP duties accident investigating team. Yeah, I was looking into that Mammoth Mountain accident where the 16-year-old girl fell. I think that was February 1st, where she jumped. You know, she was hanging from the ski lift chair, and her friends were holding on to her, and she was holding on too. And then the ski patrol got under her with a net and told her to let go. It'd be okay. They would catch her, and they failed to. So I don't know why it didn't work out so well, but I do think she survived. But how freaking awful. I mean, I hope that she recovers from her injuries. I don't know the status, but I do think that she's made it this far. Don't touch anything, it's all going to crash to the floor. Well, that's sort of like everything in life. It's just like a domino effect. Like you just think that you can change one little thing and then everything changes, right? So that's why sometimes like just not having any change is good, or just recognizing that if you touch it, it can all fall apart, like metaphorically, literally, whatever it is. Open Payrolls blacklisted my PC. It says I'm blocked from their website as of today. I must use it too much. LOL. Oh no. And Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, said that she can't comment in my freaking chat. Shan, I don't know if you could help with figuring out that. Um, I I don't think anybody did anything. I'm thinking it might just be a glitch. It might be a hamburglar. Who knows? But I do think that there's been problems with, you know, let's just call ourselves the Squirrel Squad, that there's been problems with certain Squirrel Squad individuals and other Squirrel Squad individuals that I don't think is just by chance. I do think that it's being hamburglarized, so to speak. Um, Tabbouleh is good, but yeah, that's not the Panera thing, the Indian dish, spinach and cheese. Here, I'm just gonna look it up on my phone so I can tell you guys because it just drives me nuts when you bring no worky. Spinach. It's a very famous Indian dish, and I usually can think of it. Spinach and cheese Indian dish. Oh, I wasn't far off. It's called paneer. Paneer. It's an Indian spinach curry with cheese. And it's so good. Paneer. That's funny. I didn't realize until I was getting confused how close it is to Panera. Anyway, I highly recommend it. It's a great way to get a bunch of veggies and protein. And yeah, I mean, it's frozen, so it's probably high in sodium, but as long as you don't eat it every day, I guess that's okay. But yeah, tabbouleh is really good for you too. And Costco has a really good tabbouleh where they use quinoa instead of cracked wheat, so it's higher in protein and lower in carbs. And it's one of those things that doesn't taste good to me, but I eat it because it gives me really good energy. Um, Good thing I have a laptop, iPad, and phone that is blacklisted. You go, Shan. You can work around it, no doubt. Mediterranean. Oh, I forgot the name. Tzatziki. Oh, tzatziki's delicious too. That like cucumber sauce that is really good on gyros and falafels. That's some good food right there. Doctor Who is a series, not a channel. Thank you. Yeah, I've heard of Doctor Who as a series. Should I check it out? Um, Doctor Who is old school television. How old school? Because, I watch a lot of TV, but not so much lately. So maybe it's just in the last 10 or 15 years. I climbed out because Webb started showing all the law enforcement that I have been charged for doing bad things to children or women. Couldn't keep reading. So sad, just made me angry. What? Wait a second. Let me read that again, Miss W. Um, Not bad things that you did, but bad things law enforcement did. I climbed out because Webb started showing me all the law enforcement that have been charged for doing bad things to children or women. Couldn't keep reading. So sad. Just made me angry. Yeah, I know. It's funny how our feeds will like take us down those rabbit holes. And what I do, I try to keep myself on course. Is I try to be very selective about what I watch because it seems like, especially on my phone, but laptop too, they have a mind of their own and they try to trick you into watching things that you didn't sign up to watch. And it really bugs me. I think that they're designed that way and that, it's to keep us addicted and to keep us confused too, like because if we're like on a track and we know what we're looking for but then we go get lost on all this crud that these rabbit holes that they send us down. It's a conspiracy. Yes. Blocked Mrs. G. I did not block Mrs. G, but yeah, I know how to get into my content creator area where I can see who's blocked because maybe some other entity blocked her. But I can't imagine that any of my mods would have blocked her. And yeah, I think that it's an intentional thing, probably from the, a gift from Truckee, shall we say. Let's see. Squirrel says, go to your YouTube studio community settings and check your block list. Precisely, Shan. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've known how to do that for a while. And, I haven't blocked anyone in forever, but I don't know if any of my mods have blocked anyone. So I will go and do that. I meant to do that the last day or two since I found out, just like the day before yesterday, or maybe it was even yesterday that I found out. In one of her lives. And hey, Fred, nice to see you. How are you in the pitty? Is that the pit bull? Hey, Brenda. And Shan, he knows most commands, but needs work healing. He's 57 pounds and strong as an ox. LOL. Information overload. Squirrel said, someone told me the other day they accidentally did it, so do check. Oh, that they accidentally blocked Mrs. G? Is that what you're talking about? Huh. Okay, so before I forget, let me tell you guys this thing. Dropped one of my little notebooks. Might be relevant. I do have 3 today. I apologize for that. I try to keep it down to 1 or 2, but let's see. Where is it? In relationship to Kylie Rodney, and when people try to say that she was a young adult, right? She was a young woman. When have you ever heard someone say a 16-year-old young adult? Never. Because 16-year-olds are not adults. And 18-year-olds, on the other hand, are young adults legally, right? I mean, they're allowed to vote, they're allowed to have a checking account, they're allowed to serve alcohol in some states. They might even still be allowed to drink beer and wine in some states, I'm not sure. But they're allowed to enlist in armed forces. The law enforcement, you guys, law enforcement is, you have to be a minimum of 21 years old, and they might be lowering their minimum to 18 because they're having trouble recruiting new hires. To me, that's honestly a little freaking scary. I mean, sure, 18-year-olds can join the military, but when you're law enforcement, you are so much on your own. Um, Most police departments have officers team up, at least in pairs. So I would hope that when they've got somebody real young, that they would team them up with somebody that's more seasoned. But, there's too many, in my opinion, there's too many young, power hungry men with badges and guns and licenses to kill. And that's a lot of the problem, as I see it, with law enforcement and the lack of police accountability in some cases. But then we get these cases like the sheriff in Placer County or the officers in Pullman, Washington, and at Wazoo, Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. Also Moscow, I'm sure everywhere, but we know about these cases where these police officers are abusing their power and just their behavior of sexual misconduct. It is never appropriate for an officer of the law to be getting their jollies off while on duty. It doesn't matter if it's consensual. It is never appropriate, ever, ever, ever. And they all should be fired without question. At the very least, they need to be put on an administrative leave and investigated, but they should be fired. I mean, that's an utter disgrace. And obviously, they're not protecting the public when they're busy doing that. And no one, in my opinion, if an officer has his designs on someone for that, they don't really have a choice, because he could arrest them, he could shoot them, he can write up a report and say anything he wants. So if an officer pulls you over and says, hey, well, I won't write you a ticket for this if you, come with me and do me some favors, right? To me, that's not a position that a civilian has a choice. That there's only one right answer to that. If you say no, you don't know how psycho they are. You don't know how bad it could get. It might get bad right then and there in that moment, or maybe they'll just write you the ticket and then later they'll get you. one way or another. I mean, they have your address, they have access to all your freaking information, everything. I mean, it's a position of power, even for the lowest level police officer. So I was just horrified when I heard that they're considering, they haven't done it yet, but they're considering lowering the age to 18. And I would think that they will, because like most professions since COVID, there's been a struggle to recruit new hires. You know, people have figured out that their lives are worth more than just being a working stiff, right? Um, in my opinion, that's how I see it. So yeah, back to Kylie and people trying to call her a young adult and then trying to call Scami a kid. You know, like MC Ultra is constantly doing that, is she not? And people like her, like probably Xanime, and it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting because it's lies, it's gaslighting, it's misinformation, it's disinformation, it's intentionally trying to muddy the water. Um, he knows most commands. Oh, I already read that one. Let's see, 57 pounds. How old is this pit? Just a baby? Um, information overload. Okay, I already read that one. Shan's last comment. Sometimes I fall asleep with phone and wake up to confirm block. I always press cancel. Yes, Miss W. I think those kinds of things happen to all of us, right? Oh, too funny. And Sunset Salty Sage and women, yes, for the police thing, most jobs getting busy. Um, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of women in law enforcement, and it's not all women in law enforcement should be in law enforcement. I've known some that have absolutely no business, that are like worse manipulative power trippers than some of the dudes I've seen in action. Most jobs, Sunset says, getting busy. Yes, fired and do the time. Right. I mean, you know, like people like the police chief of Maui, um, you know, he should not only be investigated and probably fired, he should probably, in my opinion, be put in prison for the rest of his life for what he, in my opinion, did with those Lahaina fires back in August of this year. And what he's done since, and, you know, trying to uh, dial the numbers backwards. Like, what did they get up to? Like 115? That was the highest that they got, and then they took it down. You know, with their little goon squad. I remember those four people: the doctor in the white doctor's coat, and then the police chief, and then the little tiny 26-year-old assistant woman, and then the guy that was like from Honolulu, who was like Homeland Security or something like that. And those four came out for their 45-minute presentation, basically just to say, okay, we've lowered the number of the deceased from 115 to under 100, and this is how we did it. We figured out that a bunch of those body bags were full of animals, not people. Like, yeah, right. I believe you not. Come on. Animal and people look very different. And yeah, if it was just ashes, then sure, you're not going to be able to tell. But if it's all just ashes, then how are you counting anyway? I mean, I'm still convinced that there's so many unaccounted for, both from the people living off grid and from people not living off grid. But you guys have probably seen the footage of all the white crosses along the freeway on Maui, on the island of Maui. It's hundreds of white crosses, and each cross symbolizes a lost loved one. And they're still stuck at that number 100, perfect match to the highest number of lives lost in a fire in modern history in our country. And that was the one slightly over 20 years ago. in Rhode Island at the station nightclub when, was it White Shark? Great White was playing, and they had that pyrotechnic fire, and all of those people were trapped in that bar, and that was such a tragedy, and that was 100 lives lost. And so Maui tried to make themselves match that so that they're not the highest ever. Like, give me a freaking break. Give me a break. And I wonder how that police chief's review went on Wednesday. I haven't gotten an account of that. I don't know if any of you guys have. But yes, let's see. Good point. I never thought of that about being pulled over. Miss W, I was pulled over back when I was about 30 in Washington State for turning right on a red light after I came to a complete stop. So, that's legal, right? So I came to a complete stop, and I waited 3 seconds because I saw that there was a police officer in the intersection trying to turn left. So then I turned right, and then the line of cars that was waiting to turn left, then they turned left behind me. And then he was like riding my ass. And I was just like, I saw him right away because I'd seen him in the intersection. That's why I made sure I did it all legal. And I was just like, whoa, dude, like, if you're going to ride my rear end like that, why don't you just pull me over? And he did. He didn't hear me think that, but he went ahead, he turned on his lights finally. At first he didn't. Like, he was just like road raging me at first. So then he pulled me over, and he's like walking up to my car with all his swagger, and I have my hands on the steering wheel, and he sees my wedding ring. As soon as his eyes saw my wedding ring, his demeanor completely changed. And then he was like trying to act like I broke some law for turning right on a red light. And I was like, but no, I didn't break the law. He was just a jerk. He was, I was 30. He was probably younger than me. I don't know. He was a good looking guy, but I figured he pulled me over to ask me out. And then he was bummed that he saw a wedding ring. He wrote me a ticket. I was polite to him, as polite as I could be for him being such a jerk. And I went to court to contest it. And I was very uncomfortable telling the judge. I didn't want to tell the judge that I thought he was just pulling me over to ask me out. I just thought that was a little goofy. And it was funny because the court was like right next to that same intersection. So without putting my opinion in, I just told the judge exactly what happened. And without question, he just dismissed it. So I figured that this guy probably did that a lot. And that, he probably saw me. Like I said, that was when I was 30. I was in the best shape of my life. I was doing triathlons. I was fresh out of my master's degree and, working as a professional. But I was in better shape even than I was when I was like 16 or 18. So probably when the judge heard my story, I'm thinking that there was a whole backstory that he didn't even bother sharing with me because he just wrote off the ticket in like the blink of an eye. Like, it was like I didn't even show up to court practically. But anyway, yeah. Thank goodness he didn't like try anything with me. Thank goodness he just wrote me a freaking ticket. But yeah, I didn't want that on my record either. Yep, just back from a walk, Fred Field. Very nice, very nice. Makes me mad that the presser law enforcement made it to a point to say that they paved the way for AWP to find vehicle. Miss W, I missed that part. Is this something that Shan highlighted or one of the other channels highlighted in one of their recent lives that I haven't had a chance to catch all of yet? Excuse me. Magic Sunset Salty Sage says, yes, life is magic, in my opinion. Crosses all over California. magically convenient. He is a smaller pitty breed, 2 to 3 years old. He came from Chicago Animal Control. Aww, a smaller pitty breed. I bet he's a sweetheart, huh? Only if you had a vehicle cam back then. Miss W, I love it. What a great freaking point. Yeah. There's other stories if I only had like Google Glasses with a little video cam or something. Man. Yep. 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 Um, I love your comment. Very smart. Sunset Salty, what did you have to retract? Just laughing, pulled over for stop signs that I've stopped at. Really? Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I told you my spouse is law enforcement, so they lie sometimes. They're allowed to, right? But they're not allowed to abuse that. They're only supposed to lie when it's necessary in order to accomplish a specific task, like getting information in an investigation. They're not allowed to just lie willy nilly, and they're certainly not allowed to lie in a court document. That is a felony. And once a law enforcement officer is charged with a felony, if it sticks, they are not allowed to ever practice law enforcement in this country again, period. Ever. But for the most part, it doesn't even happen. I've seen a lot of lies in court documents that are known lies and they don't get prosecuted. And I have seen officers perjure themselves and not be prosecuted when it's known that they're perjuring themselves. But for the most part, nobody gets prosecuted for perjury. It's like the suckers that believe that they have to tell the truth in court. I mean, I hate to say that because, you know me, I'm all about truth telling. But honestly, I mean, look at truth telling for as long as the history of our country goes back to like I think of the burning of the witches in Salem, Massachusetts. I think of those women as being truth tellers, and that's what telling the truth got them. And, that's what the guillotine is for, truth tellers, in my humble opinion. And, we get flogged, we get humiliated, we get called conspiracy theorists. And, even that phrase was coined simply to be discrediting and demeaning and insulting. I love to point out it's not a conspiracy theory. If it's actually true, then it's not a theory, right? No, I read this in that rabbit hole. What did you read in the rabbit hole? Did somebody write on the wall? Was it like cave paintings? What did I miss? LOL. Sneaky can't vote either. Felony if they get one. Be right back. Is that what that is? BBIAB. Hey mom first always. Sunset, yes. Sneaky gaslit. Yeah. Yep. So where are we at? We're already at an hour. My goodness, the time flies when you're having fun. So thanks so much for all the hot tips you guys were giving me yesterday with the lion's head mushrooms and the manuka honey and the honey and the turmeric. I haven't had a chance to check that stuff out yet. And I would show you my toe. Maybe I'll go ahead and show it to you anyway, but I'm still sore from all that yoga I did the day before yesterday. Let me see if I can show it to you. But I do have nail polish on the toe. So you can't, I meant to take off the nail polish before coming on so that I could show you how healthy it looks. But if I can do my stretch, can you see the toe? You can kind of see it. Here, let me get the light on it. Let's see. Sorry. There. See how good it looks? If you saw it before, oh my goodness. I think I'm out of the woods. And if I get the toenail polish off and then you can see the toenail, maybe it's good you can't see the toenail because that might be a little icky looking. But I do think it's a miracle that it's been healing so well And I think that it's only healed so well because of all that tea tree oil and because of um, raising it above my heart level as much as I can. Because, it's those simple, like old school things that are so essential. And yeah, I mean, we're always taught that about everything. If you're trying to heal, raise whatever you're trying to heal above your heart level, right? Because then the blood can flow in there and clean it out. So I had to do a ton of antibiotics because it was getting infected. I mentioned that yesterday. They thought it was getting gangrenous. They thought they were going to have to freaking like treat it like a ingrown toenail and operate. And with that, the guy that was going to do the operation said that I could keep the toenail, but then he assessed it further and said that he didn't need to do the operation, that he thought it would heal on its own. And I think that was about 2 weeks ago. And I was so happy. I was so happy to leave the surgery office without the surgery. I was so grateful because had I gotten the surgery for the ingrown toenail thing, I would have had to put on one of those boots, I think, for weeks. And that would have completely monkey wrenched my whole yoga deal, right? Anyway, let's see. Manuka tea tree oil. Oh, the Melaleuca is tea tree oil. Thank you, Sunset Salty. And then the Manuka honey. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad it's better. It's still a little sore, and I'm still doing the tea tree oil, and I'm still like putting a Band-Aid on it and just trying to be really careful with it. I also do a lot of soaking it in an Epsom salt bath. So I try to do that almost every single day. So that's kept it really clean. And I think that it's just those simple things, the Epsom salt bath, raising it above my heart, and the tea tree oil. I think that that's the trick, and I just feel very fortunate, very, very fortunate. So let's see, what else do I have in my notes for talking about the Watts case and that What's the Obsession video, her last live. And she does sometimes do some really long lives, but she's been trying to shore them up so they're, 1 hour, 2 hours. This one was like 2.5 hours. But I think we all like long lives when they're good, right? I mean, we'll make time for it, and we can just have it on while we're taking care of business, doing the things that we need to do. And Kelly's great. I mean, she's just such an encyclopedia of information for the Watts case. Seriously, she's very, very brilliant, in my opinion. So Charlotte is Nicole Kessinger's best friend. That there's a lot of back and forth with their interactions about Chris Watts, their texts and photographs that were deleted. I think Charlotte is the one that was her guest that weekend, right? Like she had her friend Jim and her female friend who it's my understanding that that friend that was staying with her for that weekend, the weekend of the, what would it be? August 11th and 12th, that would be Saturday and Sunday, because August 13th was the Monday morning that the crimes happened. And so Friday would be the 10th, so the 10th, 11th, and the 12th. It's my understanding that Charlotte came to stay at Nicole's apartment on Friday, September 10th, and that Jim did too, and that Charlotte was like a look-alike for Shanann, that she had very similar hair and looks. I don't know. That's a question I could ask Kelly if I catch her live tonight. But Charlotte's father passed away, like right at the same time that this happened. Like, what a coincidence. And NK just couldn't be bothered with her best friend's tragedy because, NK, the guy she was sleeping with, had a tragedy, right? Allegedly. I mean, I think she was fully part of that tragedy. I do. I think she was 100% involved from the ground up. Um, but for her to tell her best friend that she basically can't listen to her talk about her father passing away, but she wants to talk about the guy that she's getting all the hot sex from, like, that being a thing of the past. She wants to talk about that. Yeah, she's got all kinds of time to talk about that. Disgusting. I mean, a complete sociopathic, narcissistic borderline, 100%. Um, and yeah, for her to pretend that she was overwhelmed with her technology when she got a brand new phone, you guys. She also sold her truck the day after that. Didn't she sell her truck on Tuesday, August 14th? So she sells her truck and she gets rid of her cell phone and gets a new cell phone? Yeah, like that's not suspicious. Uh-huh. Yep. Um, and what I really want to say about that girl, and it's insane how she talks about her um, her lover's wife. She calls her that woman, right? So I want to call her that girl. Um, that she's really just a one-trick pony, and she does not know how to do anything other than flirt and be basically sexualized. Like that's all she knows in human interactions and relations, and it shows very clearly in her interviews with Detective Baumhofer, if I'm saying his name right. I don't think I am. But all she does is flirt with him. At one point, this just always kills me. At one point, she's telling him how she was helping Chris with his macros, right? I think on the 4th of July, like one of the 2 times that she alleges she was ever at the Watts's family home. And she says that he grilled carrots and chicken, which quite frankly sounds disgusting to me. I like carrots but not cooked. But just like really just chicken and carrots, like no like spices or anything. I don't know. I'm sure they were just so obsessed with keeping their perfect macros and their perfect bodies that, they didn't care what food tasted like. I mean, they just had no class. We know that. But anyway, we're getting off track here. Back to the point. So she's talking about how she was teaching Chris about his macros and she was programming it into his phone. And then she says to the detective, like, oh, I could help you with that too. You guys remember that part of the interview? I've always been so bugged out by that. Like, she might as well have just said, well, dude I've been sleeping with is going to be in prison. So, hey, I'm available. Do you want to have an affair with me? I mean, to me, it was like that direct. Like she was completely hitting on him. Like, oh, dude, I could come over to your family's house and plug your macro information into your phone for you. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But what was the other thing I wanted to say about that with, I see that you guys are in the chat too, so I don't want to lose track of you. But yeah, she just was so self-absorbed that she couldn't even say to her friend that she was sorry for her loss. Like just something that simple. And I know from when my mother passed away, that was all I needed to hear from anybody, if anything at all. If they cared, I really didn't want any more condolences than that. And I'm just saying this as like words of advice if you know someone who's lost someone recently. I had a neighbor who just lost their spouse recently, and I just think less is more. Like my advice or my opinion is don't ask somebody how they're doing, because that will break them down. That just saying I'm sorry for your loss is more than enough. My deepest condolences, my deepest sympathies, I'm sorry for your loss. Just short and sweet, and then move on. Because people do want to know that you understand, but they also usually don't want to get into their grief. right there in the grocery store or at work or the gym or wherever you happen to be. That just keeping it short and sweet. But she couldn't even do that for her best friend. She was just like, "Yeah, shut up already. I got problems of my own. I don't want to hear about your freaking father." Like, really? Wow. Absolutely wow. Um, just so cold and callous. And, really all of her interviews are so cold and callous. She's talking about an unalived woman that she knows fairly directly, indirectly through her lover, if you want to call him that, her sex partner, her sex addict partner. I mean, whatever. Um, and talking about two adorable little freaking toddlers deceased. And there's only one time that I can think of in all her 5 interviews where she says, "Why? Why? Why?" And that's in that 3 hour and 33-minute one where she says, "They're so little. They're like this tall." It's like, oh, so you did meet them. You know exactly where their heights are. Okay, got it. Um, but when she said the why, with her most annoying nasal NK voice imaginable, it's like the nails on the chalkboard. And it was, in my opinion, it seemed as though it was recited and that she almost forgot to do the why, and that she just like spit it out there because she's like, oh yeah, I better say that because that's what somebody would say in a situation like this. Why? But obviously she didn't give a freaking damn about any of it. I mean, all she cared about is, she even said, like, all I care about is my own reputation, my own job, what people are going to say about me, what people are going to think about me. She was very clear that that's all she cared about. She didn't even really care about Chris. But I'm really curious about Kelly's live that she's doing tonight, because there was one point right at the end of her last video in the interview where NK, she's saying things under her breath and she says, "I miss you." And I'm really curious what that's all about. So if you guys are curious too, then meet me in What's the Obsession's live tonight at 9. That's all this live really is an advertisement for Kelly. So just kidding. But yeah, I do love to pay it back, right? Absolutely. So yeah. I think I already said this, didn't I? Come on in. I'm live. What's up?
Do you want to meet Taylor?
Yeah. Just hold on a minute. I was wrapping up. Oh, teenagers, you gotta love them. Okay, you guys, I gotta go. My teenager wants me to meet his new friend. I'm excited. I asked him if I could meet his new friend. So, let's see. I think I already said this about how she was treated as a protected witness. Did I say this? From August 15th at 5:31 p.m. It was determined that she was a protected witness. Not an eyewitness, but a protected witness nonetheless. And that was really early. That was the day of her very first interview, the interview in the park. It's like, did they meet in the park on purpose to protect her even further? Because all you can hear is wind. And we gotta love Kelly for, here we are, 5.5 years later, and she bought herself some special equipment to clean up the sound on these bad audio recordings. I've always wanted to know what exactly was said in that first interview. And her daddy was there too, the one where they met in the park. Okay, so we better wrap it up, you guys. I love you. Thanks so much for being here. Big hug. And oh, hey, Stevie. Yeah, we're just wrapping up. Thanks so much for coming in. And yeah, it's terrible when females only know how to flirt. Like they only know how to like hate somebody or sleep with somebody. They don't know anything else. And it's just like some social skills. Like there should be a class or a book or something. I'm sure you could pick up some skills somewhere if you try. Wow is right. So, so adorable. Mommy dearest. Hi, teenager. Doggy on the mic. Oh, crap. Oh, this time you are right. The dog was laying on the mic. Oh, my goodness. So that just happened when the door opened because the dog came in. Gotta love the family, huh? Sorry. And now I laughed so hard it probably just broke your eardrums. Oh, thank you, Bex, for letting me know. Okay. All right. Wrapping it up. So sorry. That is hilarious. I think the mic fell when Shan. Oh, no, I think it just fell when I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the dog just laid on it. I'll review the tape and find out. So yeah, let's see. I think that's it, you guys. I think I'm ready to sign off and go meet my kid's new friend. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for understanding. Sorry to have to ditch you. I know you understand. So it's Friday. Have a really good weekend. Have a great afternoon. Take really good care of yourself. Take really good care of the people around you. Um, oh, Shan says, gonna drop a dope short on PI Nick G. Awesome. Give us something to look forward to. And then tonight, 9 o'clock East Coast time, Watts the Obsession. Be there or be square. Love you guys. Jackie Bushable, thanks for coming in. It's so nice to see you. And peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. Have a great weekend. I don't want to commit to doing any lives over the weekend, but as usual, I will try to be on panels if I can. And I will see you Monday, if not sooner. So thanks again for all of your help with me figuring out that the dog was laying on the mic. And that was the big dog, not the tiny dog. Oh, the mic fell prior to that? Oh, goodness. It's always something. All right, you guys. Light and love. Thanks again. Oh, clap. Does that do anything? Oh, too funny. All right. That's my new thing. All right. Got to go meet the kid. Love you guys. See you soon.